comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to this week's review of The Brave One, starring Jodie Foster and Terrence Howard. Normally I start my reviews with a clip of the trailer to let you know a little bit about the plot of the movie that I'm going to review. I really had little interest in seeing this movie, other than the fact that I want to try something different for this movie review. The trailer for this movie just gave way too much away. Now these aren't spoilers. Almost everything that I'm going to tell you is taken directly from the trailer itself. The storyline is pretty simple. A woman and future husband get beat up, and he doesn't survive. She's obviously distraught and trying to get through life after being traumatized. Then she decides to get a gun for her protection, and ends up having to use it to defend herself. And in doing so, she likes the feeling of empowerment, and begins to look for situations to engage with scumbags and relieve them of their breathing responsibilities. Now the detective in the trailer begins to piece it together that she could be, and most likely is, the vigilante that's been wasting these scumbags.
Hey, don't you know there's a leash law?
I never understood how people lived with fear. And then fear touched me. My boyfriend was beaten to death.
We got the best detectives in the city working on this. We will find them.
Please be a little bit patient and have a seat over there. An officer will be down shortly to help you.
I want to buy a gun.
$1,000.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, let me see my case.
Somebody shot with a 9mm automatic.
Nobody expects you to go back to work or to function. You just have to. I have to work.
This is too easy, man. If anybody's implying that the shooting's justified, let me remind you that we do have a legal system. How did you put it back together after what happened to you?
You become someone else.
You got some information on that subway shooting? All this time we've been looking for a man with a gun. There's a woman with a grudge.
Well, I guess there's a lot of us out there. It is astonishing to find that inside you there is a stranger. This stranger is all you are now. There's no going back.
I used to ask myself if there was someone that I knew that had committed a crime. But I had the fortitude to put them away.
Do you?
One more piece of evidence. She goes down.
So the only real question you have after seeing this trailer is, does the detective put her away for these crimes, or does he not? That is really the only reason that I can imagine anyone seeing this movie after seeing the trailer. The marketing for this movie was terrible, and I really can't believe that this trailer was approved by the studio. So enough about the trailer, and time to get in the actual movie review. We've all seen this type of movie before, especially with the Death Wish series starring the late Charles Bronson. Except for in that movie, Bronson's wife was killed by the thugs. This movie is the exact same concept. Someone taking the law into their own hands. Vigilante justice. Right from the beginning, I could tell it was going to be a very artsy film, and I knew it would be played way too heavy on the emotions by the over-the-top shot choices and dialogue. Everything in this movie tries way too hard. And this is even before the attack ever happens. In this movie, her character basically goes around the city, walking around with a microphone while recording different city sounds. And then she talks about them on the radio during her show. So her dialogue is very lofty and artsy, and she comes off kind of like an older emo girl. So in the very beginning, during the attack, one of the thugs just happens to have a camcorder to film the beatdown. Now obviously this is a very common thing for street thugs to have when they look for people to beat up or kill, is make sure they film it and document the beatdown so this way it can never come back to haunt them. Probably the most irritating parts of this movie was when they intertwined love scenes with the scenes of her boyfriend dying in the hospital. And this came off really tasteless and tacky. And I really couldn't believe that they would show any nudity intertwined with the death of his character. Now when she first gets back from the hospital, she can barely walk around a hallway without freaking out. And then in no time, she's wandering around all by herself, in the dark, late at night. So she seems to really go out of her way to be around trouble. About this point in the film is when she goes to buy the gun. Now she goes to get one and she's shocked that she has to wait 30 days to get one. Like anyone who's even semi-educated would clearly know there's a handgun waiting period to buy any guns in the United States. As far as the acting goes, this is one of those movies where you can tell that the director and actor are shooting for the Academy Award with every take. Everything is so emotional and is shot in such a way it just begs for recognition of the performance. And I really have nothing against Jodie Foster, but other than Inside Man, I haven't really liked any movie she's been in since Silence of the Lambs. And I really can't emphasize enough how bad some of this dialogue really was, and I was just cringing at some of the horrible narration in this movie. This movie becomes flat out absurd very soon after the first shooting, and this has to be one of the most annoying movies that I've seen in years. She ends up getting on the radio, doing general call-ins about the recent shootings, and she really looks like she just got out of the Nicolas Cage school of overacting. It's just so over the top, and it took me completely out of the scene and became almost laughable. And now we get to the crowbar scene. Now, I'm not going to give too much away, but this is when you see that this movie is flat out of control stupid. You can somewhat buy the events up to that point, but after that scene, you feel like saying, check please, and get me out of here. But I can't leave, because if I do, I can't in good conscience review a movie that I didn't finish. And then we get to the artist rendering scene, where one of the potential witnesses is with a sketch artist. And you would think a 12-year-old boy wrote that dialogue. It was that childish. Now the main reason I saw this film was to see how much the trailer ruined the movie. And it pretty much kills any real suspense that happens throughout the film. Now, I won't give the ending away, but I will be fair and say that the climax was at least decent. But who really cares if there's a Hershey's Kiss at the end of a tunnel if you gotta wade through a mile of manure to get to it? This is the movie's only, and I mean only, saving grace. Overall, this movie was just terrible, and seeing it, I knew the glory days of the summer movie was over. And there's going to be a lot more like this coming in the following months, but I hope this one is the worst of them, because I don't know if I can take seeing many more movies like this. From overall rating, I give The Brave one half a star.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I'm giving away some great movies right now on DVD, HD DVD, and Blu-ray disc. Subscribe to my channel for more info. On my channel you see weekly videos on movie reviews, top 10 lists, and movie polls. You can also join my new movie group called Mr. Black's Movie Group. Subscribe to my channel and add me as your friend, and you'll be able to see some exclusive videos and reviews only available on my network.